He was also the Executive Director, Alliance Party of Kenya from the year 2012 to 2016 and a Councillor in the Municipality Council of Ronyeges from the year 2007 to 2013. Mr. Speaker, the nominee has a lot of skills, potential conflict, or allow me to skip these ones because the members have the report, they can go through it. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to go through the committee's observation on the suitability of Mr. Franklin Mwendani Njiro to be appointed as the county attorney. Mr. Speaker, the committee, having considered the nominees, filed questionnaires pursuant to the provision of the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act 2017, his curriculum vitae and the oral submissions made the following observations on his suitability for appointment as a county attorney: that in accordance to Section 5 of the Office of the County Attorney Act 2020, the nominee is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya with at least 5 years study. Number 2, he satisfies the requirement of leadership and integrity as provided in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. He provided the clearance from the relevant bodies. He also acknowledges and distinguished career as an advocate of the High Court. He does not own any other state or public office. He has never been charged in a court of law in the last 3 years. Mr. Speaker, also let me go through the committee observation and the findings. General observation was the committee, having considered the nominees, filed a question pursuant to the Probation Appointment County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, the nominees' curriculum vitae, and his oral submissions during the approval hearings made for the following observations: that the nominee satisfied the provision of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 on leadership and integrity, which is a requirement in Section 5 of the Office of the County Attorney Act 2020, in that the nominee has been cleared by the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, Criminal Investigating Department, CID, Higher Education Law Board, L, Credit Reference Bureau, CRB, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC. The nominee has not been charged in a court of law. The nominee does not exhibit a potential conflict of interest. The nominee is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya of at least 5 years standing as required in Section 5 of the Office of the County Attorney Act 2020. Considering the above merit, the committee found the nominee suitable for appointment as the county attorney, having met both the constitutional and the statutory requirements. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to go through about the committee's recommendation. Pursuant to the provision of the Office of the County Attorney Act 2020, the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act 2017, and the Standing Order number 64 of the Rakadeli County Assembly Standing Orders, the committee recommends that this County Assembly adopt its report and approves Mr. Franklin Mwendani Njiro for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as the County Attorney. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I request Honorable Ndeke to second the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I stand to support this motion and also thank the committee for the good work they have done. And Mr. Speaker, when I look at his work experience, he seems to have a vast knowledge on this job, and so I support. Thank you.
It's clear, Mr. Speaker, that since, I don't know, up to 2022, Mr. Speaker, he was working for Jubilee. Is Jubilee Party a party that you can compare with or try to shape our forward-thinking people having come from that party, Mr. Speaker? We know the mess that was in Jubilee. We know the mess that was there even during nominations. He was an advisor there, Mr. Speaker. We know even the current president, what he passed through. This person was an advisor there. Would you take that person as a good worker to employ if that person was the real advisor, Mr. Speaker? having gone through those messes that the Jubilee was? The absolute answer is no. This is why I said I'll support the motion, but half-heartedly. I will support it, Mr. Speaker, because this appointment of the county attorney is a prerogative of the governor. So if the governor feels this person will advise him wisely, so be it. So we give him the person to advise, but from where we sit, several of us, Mr. Speaker, this is not the right person to hold this office. But since it's a prerogative of the governor to appoint the county attorney as the legal advisor, we'll allow him to pass there. This test of the assembly, he will be appointed, but you deal with him when time comes in case he messes us up. Because with this house has the powers to even suspend him or recall him or extra whatever into his place, Mr. Speaker. That is what I have to say. I totally believe, Mr. Speaker, he is not the right person for this position, but I support.
I want to start by quoting Matthew 15, chapter 26, where a Canaanite woman approached Jesus. It is recorded that Jesus was in Lebanon. And we know Lebanon are not Jewish. And this woman and a lady who was sick, and she really wanted help from Jesus. But Jesus, together with his mercy, he told this woman that it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. It may really sound like it is harsh, but that is the Bible that I have just quoted. Mr. Speaker, I have looked at the report, and particularly in section 311, this gentleman comes from Kunyenje sub-county. Kunyenje sub-county is in M County, and I'm equating it the way Lebanon borders Israel. It's a similar case. Mr. Speaker, the other day, Honorable Sakari introduced himself as the leader, actually like he has been nominated for the sake of the minorities. And he was very proud of that because he is an MBA who happens to be living in Tarakanini as a Mumbere. So I don't know whether he is really extending his generosity by bringing people from his clan to our county. And Mr. Speaker, when you look at the qualifications of who is at County Antony, this is one person who is equal to a CEC. Mr. Speaker, when you look at what a CEC gets, this one person who runs with the current rates, that's 426,000 every month. He is entitled to a vehicle, he is entitled to drivers, and all what goes with a CEC. So, Mr. Speaker, what this report is telling us, it's telling us that we should be taking our 1 million every month and fly it to another county, while our own don't have jobs. I sympathize with the many advocates who are residents of Tarakanini, the rights of Akina Kaimba, the rights of Akina Krimuturi, the rights of Akina Wanja, who were actually number one when it came to vetting, whenever they wanted a job to be in the county public service board, county public service board. They never got an opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why our brain is being tossed to the dogs, quoting the Bible verse that I just read. So, Mr. Speaker, one person who is really sympathizing with the situation and the way things are happening. In this particular office where we have this particular person coming in as the Antony General, we have workers there. We have a lady from Mwendi who works there very well. It is quite unfortunate because most in the past government, when we had the first Antony by the name Moremi quit. This lady was left in that office. We brought in another Antony. The other Antony also had to quit for some reasons that we don't know. And I'm surprised because one of the honorable members talked of we had another Antony who moved and we even don't know why he disappeared. Now we are bringing in another Antony while that lady is sitting in that particular office. Mr. Speaker, I belong to the delegation committee, and many a times I have met people from that office. They are competent, eloquent, and equal to the task. I can never, and I will never be convinced why we should get a foreigner coming in to take a very big job. If it was small job like plant operator, where we have so many campers doing the plant operators, like we don't have our own. We didn't really have a lot, because after all, whatever they will be carrying to their home is quite minimal. But what we are giving out is every month 1 million goes to every county while our people have no job. Let it go on record that I have vehemently and seriously opposed this motion. Mr. Speaker, I oppose this motion with everything that it takes. Even if, and when you call upon the question, I may not even bother myself saying no. Because of course, many times the majority have their way, but it's not, it doesn't mean that they are right or wrong. They can be wrong. Like in this particular point, they are wrong. And when we go outside there, let them tell our people why they cannot get employment, yet foreigners can get employment in this particular country. Mr. Speaker, a while ago we were speaking about Mwasco. And we were just saying, and we are all in unison, that if we had one of our own seated in that particular company, the kind of things that we are experiencing would not be experiencing. Mr. Honorable Katuro from Kalingano talked, and he said he is also very much worried that this could be a conduit, where this guy sits down, organizes for cases, and gets proceedings from the other direction. Mr. Speaker, I can confirm to him that his worries are true, and definitely will come to be true. Looking at the kind of budget that we put, money, we had money all over. In every department, we had money for litigation. Your answer now is answered, Mr. Honorable Member. I seriously oppose this one, and let it be known in black and white that I oppose it. Because even his own way, much as Honorable Katula has said that it was used, it was not used now in our Smith. He misread people at that particular time. People should have liberty to do elections whatever way they wish. When they want to do it by acclamation or by way of secret ballot, it was nowhere, anywhere in the law. It was just misused, because to me, I believe it's a patent. Mr. Speaker, I beg to stop my contributions there, and I oppose that motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.